International, Mr. Eddie Ibrahim.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hall H. I said, welcome to Hall H. So we are very. Hello? Okay. We are very excited to have the first film produced in India here in Hall H. So obviously we are really happy to fulfill the International and ComicCon International, and we wanted to give them the biggest stage possible. So we're very excited. I just want to say there is going to be some footage potentially, and obviously if there is, please do not record it. This is really just for the room, for you guys, and it's going to be exciting. So with that, I would like to start the Project K panel.
Jai Shri Ram! Go ninja, go ninja, go
How we doing, ComicCon? Ready for us? I am so excited and so honored to be here for the very first Indian film at ComicCon, and it's here on Hall H. Guys, I have been seeing so many images of Project K. I keep hearing about Project K, and we're about to find out what Project K is. Let's hear it. Now, I'm about to be joined by someone who, like us, is hugely in love with comics, hugely in love with fandoms. He's an actor, but he's not acting in this. He's a producer, but he didn't produce on this. He might know a thing or two about Project K, though. Should I bring him out? All right, I'm gonna give it a count of 5, but I want you guys to get bigger than that. Let's hear it for the man in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's hear it, Alana! You're the first one. You get to pick weapon of choice.
I love it. I'm sitting when the table's getting made.
You can shift.
Hello, guys. Good afternoon. Hello, ComicCon. Hello, Rebel fans. Whoa. Oh, ma'am, I'm not Mr. Kamal Hassan here.
He has all the power now. We've given him all the power. All right, so I've heard all of the stories about Project K, and I have heard all about the lore, but I want you to tell me a little bit about this moment for you, because we were talking about certain movies that have crossed over, and what's been your experience, man?
Well, it really started about 6 or 7 years ago when a film called Bahubali came out. And not only uniting India as a cinematic nation, it really brought Indian cinema and India onto the world stage. So we were at other events, we were understood what global fandom means. Then they made a film called Triple R, Mr. Rajamouli. That got an Oscar. And we're like, okay, now we need to be right in the middle of where fandom is. And ComicCon it is.
Right here. Now, I've heard legend of Indian movie stars as being basically like demigods. This all-powerful sensation, this moment, especially in fandom. Is that all true?
Well, let me tell you something. Have you ever gone to a cinema at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. in the morning?
I've left the cinema at 3 a.m. in the morning. I've never gone to a cinema.
No, that's the first show. And then, so all the stars that are in this movie have had that for each and every film of theirs. Where the fans, the love of the audience, queues them up at 3 a.m. in the cinema halls, and movies start playing from there. And that's our fandom. So why speak about it? Can I throw a little glimpse of that fandom?
I think we should see a taste. We can do better than that. Let's see a taste.
One day we should work together.
One of India's most prolific and versatile film stars, Kamal Hassan made his debut at the age of 6.
Kamal Hassan redefined cinema with unmatched creativity and fearlessness.
He is always innovating, always reinventing. Truly timeless.
I've seen paparazzi, but I ain't never seen nothing like this. काम को करना मुश्किल ही नहीं। What a gentleman he is.
Ladies and gentlemen, congratulate Deepika Padukone for receiving the 2020 Krishna. Her debut at the awards solidified her status as a Bollywood icon and introduced the American audience to her work.
Little did I imagine that 20 years hence, I'd be standing here receiving a Time 100 Impact Award.
Die-hard fans have made Prabhas a cinematic demigod.
Hi, darling.
Prabhas has pan-India popularity. The frenzy is real.
That's the man we are talking about, Prabhas. He breaks every barrier when it comes to geographical boundaries.
Almost 2 million die-hard fans have gathered to catch a glimpse of their favorite star today.
Maybe have joined us. I know you've been enjoying the table, but maybe?
Yeah, so the first one I'm going to call on this stage has been in the movies from the age of 6. career in the movies, he's done over 250 films. He is an actor, a dancer, a producer, a writer, a director. And just not all of that, he's played 10 characters in a movie. And his skill, talent really is unmatched and puts the greatest of the world to shame. There you go.
I mean, that introduction.
Shall we bring?
Let's bring the man out. Let's hear it for him.
Please welcome Mr. Kalki.
Vikram! Vikram! Aram Vikrama! And the America loves you.
That love is incredible, man. That feels amazing and well deserved. And we had someone else here I think you wanted to bring out as well.
All right. So the next one I'm trying to bring out is someone I worked with together for about 5 or 6 years. We've been fighting together every single day. Broke many bones in different parts of our bodies. And after the biggest franchise in Indian movies, he consistently kept building big franchises. Whether it's action, whether it's mythology, whether it's love stories, and now with science fiction. And the reason what makes him a star is not all of that, but the kind, amazing human being that he is. Ladies and gentlemen, is my friend and the rebel star, Prabhas.
Let's bring him out.
Nice, Nadi!
So from those two introductions alone and everything in front of me, there is such a vibrant, incredible world of cinema and Indian storytelling, and I am so excited to be getting into what we're about to get into. But I think before we do that, we should probably, I don't know, get some other ideas. Yeah.
So we spoke about the biggest stars, movie stars in the country. And the one who brought them all together is my classmate from first grade, which is the real reason I'm here. The director of this film, an extreme visionary, Nagashwin.
Let's bring out Nagashwin, the creator, the director of this entire world. Let's hear it for Let's give it up for this stage, guys. All right, so Rana, I want you to set the stage. I know so little except for these beautiful images I've seen, but I know there's a certain setting element we want to dive into. I gotta hear about this world, man.
Do you, Nagi, want to talk about the future and the date that you put on this screen? And that's what he's saying.
I was teasing a setting because I'd love to hear about a certain world and where we're landing in it.
I think it's great for people to see it first.
Oh, wow. Hey, we'll let the audience decide. Do you guys want to see something first? Because I've been hearing a lot about it, but do you want to see something? All right. Without further ado, the very first footage ever shown. Let's play that teaser. They might have been in line the second time on that title drop. That was a moment to relive. That was so special, man.
Let's start with him. How did you put all of them together? The stars here, the stars are not on this table too. You know they're the biggest movie stars in India, right?
Yeah, and I think everybody knows that by now. And I would like to say, I think it's just their love for storytelling, and I just had this idea, and the story came together in a way that they got convinced to do it. Basically, I love science fiction, and I love mythology. Like, I grew up with Star Wars and I grew up with Mahabharata. So now how am I going to, it'll be ideal if I make a movie which has both worlds, right? So, and somehow that happened. So here we are.
And we're here at ComicCon, my friend. Before I let these two fine gentlemen speak, I'd like to call on stage the production company that made this possible. Vaijayanti Films, Mr. Ashwini Dutt, who's been there from the black and white era to making the first science fiction mythology film in the country.
Oh, it's incredible.
And his two daughters, who are producers of this film as well. Mr. Ashwini Dutt, Swapna Dutt and Priyanka Dutt.
Let's hear it. Now let's hear it for this stage. There is so much talent right next to me, and everything I've seen absolutely blew me away. And I know you've been filming for, what, about 3 years now?
I mean, we've been filming for 2, but we've been prepping for almost 4, I think.
Wow. I cannot wait to see more. I'm so excited to dive into everything. I know we've got a bunch of questions to get into, but I think Rana had an element we wanted to talk about a bit more.
All right, let's go.
Now, I'm sorry.
I have to ask questions. From India. So in India, we have something called a pre-release or a teaser launch, and this is like we're just doing it in ComicCon. I feel like there's nothing cooler than that.
You'll join him now.
So wow, okay. So what's not stopping here is there's a cast that's even bigger than this. And guys, my friend here has the power to bring people on if you like it.
Is there someone we should bring on?
Yeah.
I feel like there is an element missing
Yeah.
that we can change in a couple seconds.
Yeah.
Let's bring up the Zoom screen.
The Mr. Amitabh Bachchan.
Now the gang is all here, and I feel like we can really get into it.
And now that's the gang of K. Bachchan sir, welcome. I know you're in a very, very different time zone. I feel like you should start this. Tell us, sir, about K and the experience.
Well, thank you so much for having me this evening. It's early morning here, so and there's some kind of a lag in the speech, so I hope you'll excuse that. I was approached by Nagi to do this film, and having seen the kind of work that his production company has done, and the fact that he's been making such wonderful movies, and the fact that the region that he comes from has been very prominent as far as Indian cinema is concerned, I just had to say yes. Project K has been a very, very unusual and a very exciting experience. The kind of research that has been done, and I keep questioning Nagi all the time, you know, how did he think of this? I mean, what was he drinking? What was he smoking before he came up with all this? But it's really, really quite incredible the way all this has been put together. And I've had the good fortune to have a look at the first teaser, and the first reaction actually came from my son, who said, "Whoa," and that's all he can talk about. But thank you so much, ComicCon, for having all of us. And I have to make a very embarrassing confession. When Nagi came to me and said, you know, we've been chosen for ComicCon, I hadn't understood him. I didn't know what he was talking about. until I shared the information with my son and he said, "Are you crazy? This is one of the biggest deals that you can ever have." So thank you so much, ComicCon, for having all of us, giving public stage this kind of importance. And my wishes to everyone that's on stage. I've shared some wonderful moments with Kamal and with Prabhas, as everyone describes as a very kind and gentle person. It's just that every time I go to Hyderabad to shoot, he fills my entire hotel with the food that he makes at his home. And I keep telling him, you're feeding an army, it's just one guy you have to feed. But ComicCon, thank you so much for having us. I never realized what a big deal this was. I wish Nagi and this tremendous effort that he's made in putting everything together. And I hope that you like what you see. And next year when we release the film, I hope you like it even better. Thank you so much for having me.
There was a pretty resounding whoa in this room as well. I feel like it's the same reaction. I feel like it's a shared whoa. But I want to know for the whole audience, and I really just want to hear from whoever wants to field this, what do you feel makes Indian cinema so unique? Because you can see a frame and immediately you know.
Speak about this next.
It's a very important question for a film buff like me. What makes Indian cinema so great for us is the energy that our audience brings to our cinema. We make the stories, they make the stars. One such superstar just spoke a few words a few minutes back, and you'll really understand it when you sit with an audience like this and watch Amitji perform, Prabhas perform, or Rana. We are very honored to live in this energy, with this energy. I think that's...
Stop being so modest, Kamal. You're much, much greater than all of us. And this is not a performance that you have to put up. You have to talk.
Just seeing the two of them.
Really, sorry for interrupting, but really, ComicCon, the kind of work that Kamal has done is absolutely just very, very difficult to believe. Rana gave a small introduction to Kamal about, playing 10 roles in a film, but each one of his films has been filled with so much reality, so much effort that he puts into each film, and each of the roles that he's played, really quite amazing. And it's an honor to be, in the same film as you, Kamal. We've done a couple of them together, but really this one is going to be very special.
For those who remember Sholay with nostalgia, I was an assistant director. And I couldn't sleep that night when I saw Sholay. First, I hated the film so much. I hated the filmmaker even more. And I had the opportunity of working with that great filmmaker, and I told him that was my reaction when I saw the film. As a technician, I couldn't sleep that night. And that's the kind of movie, many such movies Amitji has done. And to hear him say nice things about my films is something I didn't imagine when I was an assistant director and watching Sholay on the big screen. Thank you, Amitji. Thank you.
Hey, Nagi, that frame, man.
Yeah,
just watching that frame, watching Bachchan sir and Kamal sir like complimenting each other about their work.
Awesome.
I'm like,
You're on the
Charlie,
best call ever.
So Nagi, when I was walking here, Kai kept saying this American thing to me. Say this film in 3 words. Sell this film to me. What's it in 5 words? So I said, wait, shoot now.
So if there's 3 words to shape this, I'd love to know it's hard to whittle down, but what are your 3 words for this film?
3 or 5? 3, okay. The end begins.
Ooh, I love that. Because I always think about sci-fi as kind of the mythology of the future. And you're talking about the end as the beginning. Does this have those same elements of like the mythology of the sci-fi because there's so much vibrancy on screen?
It does definitely. It draws its roots from mythology.
It feels like it, and I'm curious with the grand spectacle and the color of Indian cinema, does this have those elements as well? Because we're seeing a lot of darkness, but there's splashes of brightness.
So I think, Nagi, to answer that, you have to pull out your inspiration decks and then speak a little bit more. Then he'll know where it came from.
It's a different Indian film. It's still an Indian film at heart. It's like all our Indian mythology, our stories, our culture, like from being a South Indian, from being Telugu, from being Indian, from being a fan of Star Wars, like all of that love comes into this one thing. So it's a new kind of thing. I don't know what to say.
It's a good problem. I like that problem.
So, I told you about the man right here, the man who stays quiet.
Yeah.
He can pass this whole event off without saying a word. You can't leave him. So, across all of this here, he keeps creating spectacle after spectacle as franchises. And you asked me a question after that. Does he live on the blue screen or what?
I was wondering because he was describing the scope of the experience of what you've been living the last few years. Has blue screen fatigue set in? Because I feel like you've lived blue screen for a little while now.
Yeah, no, it's like little, I got bored of it. It's real stuff, but when I just saw the teaser now, I feel like, okay, it's fine.
It was all worth it in the end.
Yeah.
So we saw a few sets of a dichotomy of colors enter this room. There was a lot of white, there was some black masks, there was a lot of duality. Can you, elaborate? I feel like I got questions.
The readers.
Sir.
Why?
Sir, so, we can only talk about the black for now.
Okay.
Because the Raiders are here. They're at ComicCon. You guys met, a lot of you guys must have met them. And they're right, oh, they were right here. Oh, they're left. Oh, they're there. So they're here. And so they are a very important character in the film. There are lots of them. They are an Indian version of Stormtroopers, I guess. Somebody will say it, so I'll say it first. But they're fun, so I think it'll be fun to watch them. And I think we'll know more as time goes along.
Come on, sir, and Bachchan, sir. What was it like being on with Raiders, Troopers, when you saw this?
So I always wanted to be part of a film like that. I've tried making these kind of films, but in a very small way. This is big vision.
Nice.
I'm glad to be part of this. I remember the time when I wanted to create these kind of troopers. All I had was hockey masks. In India, so I used it as part of the costume designing. But this is done in style. I like it, and as I told you, the first confession is that I'm a film buff. So I'm happy to be part of films itself. I belong more on that side to watch any film, and to be part of a film which I'd like to watch is about the best thing that could happen to a film buff like me.
Nice. So how about you, sir?
Well, as I said, this is the very first experience of mine in working in a subject, in a project like this. But what I really admired throughout the making was the kind of energy and the research and the effort that Nagi and his entire team have made to put this thing together. Most of the time you're not understanding what you're doing, but Nagi knows. And I hope that when I see the final product, I will prove myself wrong and him right. But thanks, Nagi. I know that there have been some rather anxious moments when I've asked some very weird questions, and I still haven't got a correct answer from you. At the least of the film, we will. But thank you so much, Nagi, and thank you so much of us, Kamal and Prabhas and all the others that have been with us, Deepika, and I just love the kind of dedication. I have to say a few words to the father of this film, which is sitting right next to Prabhas. You are one of the most humblest producers I've ever met. I thank you for your humility. I thank you for the respect that you give to all the artists. I thank you for being on set every day and making sure that, simple things like finding a chair for the artist, or whether the artist has had his lunch or not, and is he being looked after, giving assistance to the artists to help them out in any situation, whether they're walking on set or walking off it. This is unheard of. And thank you so much, sir, and I hope I have the privilege of very soon watching the video. Thank you.
Ashwini Dutt garu, welcome to ComicCon. Congratulations on 50 years of Vaijayanti. Shepard sir, what has been that black and white to sci-fi?
I started my career with God, J.T. Ramarao garu. From there onwards, it took 50 years of my hard work to reach Amitji, Kamalji, and my friend Prabhas.
And you have a team of two really fighting daughters that make this film. Tell us guys, what has it been?
Yeah.
It's actually it's a very proud moment for us because this is something that not we really dreamt of. It's always been a slight. It's Telugu cinema, then it became Southern cinema, then it became Indian cinema. But then bringing Indian cinema to ComicCon is just been incredible for us.
It's been 4 years. We've been on this since 4 years. Nothing, no entertainment, no movies, just working on this film day and night, and literally watching this here in Hall H in ComicCon. It's actually a dream, and I'm living it right now. And thank you so much for all of you.
All right, now we've been talking about Comic-Con, and there are certain elements of Comic-Con that as a comic nerd, I gotta ask, I gotta know. We're gonna do a Q&A in just a second, so if you wanna start lining up. But as a nerd, okay, this is gadgets, this is superpowers. I know you can't reveal too much, but give me something, man.
The Raiders have a vehicle called the Raider vehicle.
That's something, that's a taste.
It's there in the teaser, but yeah, that's...
Are there any superpowers you can tease that I can just know a little?
Of our guys, no, but I think I'm very excited because for us to be here, I just think we're on the shoulders of all of this mythology and 100 years of cinema and actors, great movies, and we're here. And finally we are able to get Indian mythology here, because here you guys are superheroes, you love your superheroes so much. And if you have Superman who can fly into space, we have Hanuman who can eat the sun. And then if you have Thor or Hulk who can break a building, then we have Hanuman who can lift a mountain. Kumbhakarna who is a mountain. So I'm very interested for the world to meet India.
Same, I cannot wait to see all this. You're on superheroes.
Guys, before we go to the Q&A, Nagi, I had one problem. Where is Mr. Kamal Hassan in that teaser?
He has the same question.
Would you want to answer that? Would you want to answer? How does it go? I have a problem.
First I'll say that Sir is there throughout the teaser, but you don't know. Starts with him, it's his teaser.
So you have something to say to that?
One more time.
Well, I'll agree with what he says because he's the director.
I love how cryptic. I've learned so much and so little at the same time, which is how it's supposed to be in this hall, this magic hall. Speaking of this magic hall, I would love to hear from some of you. Do we have microphones out for the audience? I only see stormtrooper guys. They're very intimidating. Oh, we do. Good sir.
Hey.
Whoever's got the first question, by all means. I think someone's gonna have a microphone, I assume. I've got good hearing, but not that good. I love the dramatic spotlight. There it is, he's entering the dramatic spotlight.
Hi Nagesh, I've been a huge fan of you. Always from Mahanati and yeah. My question is, you said that there's gonna be blend between the mythology and the science fiction. Like, is it a conscious choice or it flowed organically when you're developing the screenplay?
It's a great question.
I'd say it's a bit of both. Like, you know, once you start down the road, you need to know where you're going. So it was a conscious thought, but after that, it just grew on its own.
Thanks, man. All right, we got our next question queuing up.
Thank you so very much for this wonderful teaser. We all loved it. I have a question for the director and the Ulaganayagan. You could have taken this in a different aspect altogether. Why the post-apocalyptic war? And to the Ulaganayagan, you have always done movies which has some sort of a mythological reference, where it be Vishwarupam, Dasavatara, or Uttama villain. Is that the reason for which you decided to be a part of this reason of this movie, because it has some sort of a mythological reference? Thank you so much.
Yeah, mine was almost the previous question on it. Like, it was the same. So,
what did you say?
Like the previous question, I said like we decided to mix consciously mythology and sci-fi. So I think that solved.
Yes, and the reason I accepted to do this film, I come from the analogous cinema to digital cinema. So without a negative, there's no positive. So a negative role is an important role in the film. So two negatives, you know, can make a positive. So I'd like to find out who's the other villain in the film. And it's exciting because one, it happens in a time where all of us may not live to see, but we are going to play that time. So it's a fantastic vision to think of the future while you're so worried about the present. So that itself takes a lot of vision. And to mix it with our mythology, which means the audience are clued in on to what kind of story we are trying to narrate, because you just have to give them a glimpse of a character from mythology and they will understand the flow of the story. So much backstory can go unsaid and we can cut to the chase. And that's beautiful about mixing mythology and your own conceived action.
Yeah. I cannot wait to see this world you guys have built. I'm so excited. Like, this last hour has been just building. Oh, immaculately dressed.
Hi.
Hi. What's up, man?
My name is Srijit. So my question to you guys is, like, it's so great that we're finally having, like, sci-fi fantasy stuff come out of India now. And I'm a huge sci-fi buck, and for the longest time, I've always questioned it, like, why doesn't India do more sci-fi fantasy stuff? And I'm curious what your guys' answer to that is. Like, what do you think makes now so special to have this content come out of India now?
Because I'm waiting for you.
It's interesting. Why not? Is your
Why?
question? And why now?
I mean, why now? Why I was asking Prabhas to answer this was, like, I genuinely think after Bahubali, after Prabhas and Rajmouli and Rana made Bahubali, movies like this they've accelerated what could have happened in 10 years is happening now, and this man has opened the doors, so he'll tell you why.
Darling!
Can you hear me?
Yes, darling!
So like, Nagi is like very big.
Bowden speak Bangladesh. Let's continue this. So why not? Should I just take that from you?
Yeah.
Okay. See, this is what happens when we do stuff 5 minutes. But yeah, so I think India is like, take for example, we're like 100 years after Hollywood in some ways, but we're still a 100-year-old cinematic nation. And probably Bahubali was the first time India created scale, and we understood what spectacle cinema meant. We understood what franchises meant. We had a comic book culture, but that never came into the movies. And I feel like this was the first cycle of it. And from the time the first film came, it just didn't stop. And you're going to see a lot more. I feel like this is the first Indian true moment the way you can have superheroes. Hence we're at ComicCon. You'll see a lot more of us. Was that a valid enough answer?
Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
All right, I think we probably have time for one more.
Hey, I'm a very big fan of everybody sitting on there. My first question is with Nagi. He mentioned in one of the interviews, this is very tough to write. I learned how to write it, and then I wrote it, and I don't know how to make it. I have learned how to make this movie, and then I'm making it. Would you be able to elaborate a little bit on that, now that everybody knows what is Project K?
Yeah, all these what is Project K merchandise you put. I got to see what to do with it.
It's Kalki. It's Kalki. Let's say it loud. Can you say it for us? There you go. Now let's fix it.
Yeah.
I'm here already.
He's here, no, right next to me.
I'm just outside, just by the paraphrase.
So you can always be surprised, first day. So, yeah, did I learn how to make it? I mean, it's a difficult movie to write, and also it's taken so long because we figured out how to do it. So in the whole writing process, because we tried lots of writers and everything, and it just became a process where it had to come, and so it took a long time. And even the designing, we didn't want to look like any other film, like design-wise. We didn't want to look like, oh, this looks like a Hollywood, or this looks like cyberpunk. So we tried to find our own thing. So we spent a lot of time on that. So me, Swapna, Priyanka were the core of like 4 years, like from discussing story, from me getting frustrated because I didn't get the story, from making the film, and going through the process of so many like shooting days. And yeah, so we did it, and there's a whole huge team who's not here now. I know it's just a teaser, the movie's still a long way off, but I just want to say we're representing that whole team who's done these crazy artworks and vehicles and costumes, and all our managers who've made some mad things possible. So I forgot the question, but this is for them. Yeah.
Let's give it up for that whole team, and let's give it up for everybody on this stage.